The Rio Grande Trail is actually on the old Aspen branch of the Denver and Western Rio Grande Railroad. When RFTA inherited the corridor, it was an ecological disaster. So we needed a systematic approach to begin to manage the weeds per the Colorado Noxious Weed Act. Noxious weeds are non-native plants that have no natural predators here. They've often been brought here for different reasons, whether it's from Europe or Asia, but they've displaced a lot of the native plants here. So they're disrupting the ecosystem. It's a poor habitat for wildlife. They also degrade property values. Right here, we've got a whole bunch of common tansy. We've got lots of different thistles, cheatgrass, bindweed, a whole bunch of these noxious weeds. Unfortunately, these noxious weeds are kind of here to stay. It's just now up to us to manage and control them. The topography in this area, you can't really mow it. My predecessor started by spraying chemicals, and when I started, it wasn't working. We were going to the same spots, spraying the same chemicals, and we weren't having any results. Chemicals are only doing one thing, they're killing. We're trying to build soil health. We're trying to get that life back. So we started to use other tools, and now we're using goats. Goats are browsers, and browsers eat broadleaves, and that works well with noxious weeds because a lot of these noxious weeds have big broad leaves. So goats will focus on those generally first, and then they'll work towards the grasses. So it's really up to Goat Green and Donnie, and they do a great job of understanding the goals of this particular piece of land. What are we trying to do here? And then once they feel that goal has been achieved, we're gonna move them along so that we don't damage and don't eat it down to the ground. Based on my past experience using the goats, is they'll come in here and clean this all up. You'll be able to see the ground. The goats are also aerating the soil. They're stabilizing these steep slopes. They're fertilizing, they're eating all these nutrients and they're recycling them back into the ground. So they're doing a lot of different things at once.
You'll recall that 4 weeks ago we started here. This is our unloading spot. And to my right here, you have an ungrazed area. The willows, the tansy, there's a lot of bindweed on the ground here. And to my left over here, you have the area where we unloaded and started 4 weeks ago. We've grazed about 6.5 miles down the trail corridor. So on the left side, you can see the fence line. The willows have been pushed back, allowing sunlight and moisture to hit some of the ground below them, and those grasses can access that. Also, the disturbed soil along the trail here, we've seeded this hand broadcasted native seed. You can see the grass is starting to reestablish here. Everything's been recycled. The thistle, the mullein, the tansy, and some other biennials and perennial weeds and undesired plants have been recycled in the soil, and the goats with their hooves have pushed those seeds that we hand broadcasted into the soil, and we are ready for moisture and sunlight.
It's been about 4 weeks since we did the first shoot. My beard's gotten longer, the days are shorter, and the goats are just munching along here, doing some erosion control, brush removal. You can probably recognize this clematis from our first shoot, and you can see how they've just stripped it down. There's no more leaves left on this thing. So the goats are allowing us to see the ground, allowing us to get in there and access these areas. The land is definitely transforming before our eyes. If you're on the ground every day, it's pretty obvious that what's going on is the ground is just being energized. We're trying to be good environmental stewards here, and obviously this area is not a good area for chemicals. You have a ditch right here. You have the Roaring Fork River right there, and that is a prized fishery. Lots of boaters, lots of kids swimming, so we definitely do not want to harm those bodies of water. So this area would be really challenging to manage weeds. Generally, people are coming out to the Rio Grande Trail to enjoy this beautiful scene that we have, this nature, this wildlife. You got all these trees, you got the flowers, the grasses, the birds, the bees. People love that stuff. They're coming out to get exercise, to get fresh air. And then when they see the goats, their faces just light up. When you're walking around in a white suit with a backpack spraying blue liquid, people run away from you. If you have goats out here, people come to you and they want to talk to you about them and what are they doing and why are they here and all sorts of things. People ask me every day, when are the goats coming back? When are the goats coming back? So it's a good opportunity to engage the community. The relationship with this plants and the land, it's all connected. We're all connected to the soil. We're standing on it right now. We're all connected. So we really need to take care of it.